Oh, that was a real nice video, Alvin. Hey, Dallas.
Hey, world.
This is Charles, and this is Alvin. And we are here with our tit for tat, this and that show for you guys. Hopefully, you guys are having a great Sunday. Of course, we're here in Dallas. The weather is supposed to change today because it's supposed to be the first day of fall. But if you are a Texas, home and grown, or even if you've been here for a while, you know that we don't have fall until like October 31st. Like I always say, when Halloween comes, that's when the weather changes or whatever. So we're still going to be like in the 90s, in the high 80s or whatever. But hey, it's part of living in Texas, I guess.
Right.
Well, we only have maybe 2 or 3 seasons. To me, I think we
have any seasons.
I think we just have summer and maybe
winter.
Summer and fall, because we don't really have a hard winter.
Yeah, we don't even have a hard fall. Fall is like summer here. It's still hot all the way up until it's already.
No,
it's
fall
now.
I know, but our fall doesn't. But I'm saying our fall doesn't start until October. So when October comes, that's when we do have kind of fallish weather, and the leaves start falling and all that kind of stuff. People have to rake their, yard and stuff like that. So I would say
we're making our own fall now. We're making our own seasons.
That was my whole purpose of saying what I said in the beginning, that even though today is the beginning of fall, if you're in Dallas, in Texas or whatever, fall doesn't start for us until October or whatever. So
it can still be hot all the way into December.
To me, it normally changes around then, but it's not like I don't know what other states feel at fall, but I know our fall does get a little cooler.
I know what up north feels, because that's where I come from.
Yeah,
we actually have seasons, so
exactly.
But we don't have seasons down here really, because even though we technically have winter, summer, fall, spring, all that type of stuff, the weather can be anything, and we've gone into December, January, and February, and it's been 80 degrees and stuff sometimes. So
okay.
But mostly we have warm weather, hot weather to warm weather.
Yeah, I mean it gets cold, but not cold. But yeah. So anyway, hopefully you guys are having a good Sunday. We are discussing this week. I want to say a couple of weeks ago. Hey, Jay and Joe.
Hey guys,
we watched you guys this morning. You had a great show. I like the interaction with you guys and your community. It was really nice to see that, and all the questions they had for y'all. But it seemed like all the questions were for Jay. And Jay was like, ask Joe some questions. So that was kind of funny. But hey, y'all, thanks for joining us. I want to say a couple of weeks ago, there was some stuff about August, Alsina, him actually stating that he's bisexual, I guess, or that he doesn't want to do the labels or whatever. And then he's glad you could join, yes. And then also we saw some pictures on the internet from Chopper, I think that's how you say it, NLE, Chopper, whatever, of like him posting stuff, kind of insinuating that he's coming out the closet. I think he even posted something, but he just put, I'm coming out. But then he had on, I don't know, he might have not even had on a shirt or something. And it gave the illusion that he was, saying that he's coming out the closet. Then he comes back and said, no, I'm talking about my album's coming out. I'm coming out with a new album. And then, of course, I know you guys know about the Shannon Sharpe thing with him accidentally going live on Instagram and having sex or whatever. And then last but not least, and I know there's probably even more or whatever, but last but not least, our friend up in New York, Mr. Diddy, Alvin was saying the other day, he's kind of upset that we didn't get invited to any of his parties. Any of his freak offs, and they say
I would have went.
I would have went, maybe.
I wouldn't have participated in any of the depravity or anything like that. But I probably would have watched or whatever, or maybe
I would have
picked up something and went to a separate room or something, maybe. But I wouldn't have been participating in all that group stuff and then all that violence and stuff that comes with it, and all the stuff that he does to get you there,
right?
Or to keep you there, or to keep you silent. Right. That's not my thing. So
yeah. I mean, I guess to get invited to that party, it's like you must be somebody, you have a name for yourself. So I guess it's a kind of an honor to even be invited or whatever, and just to be around those people. But I think if you know his reputation and you know his parties, I think you kind of know when there's the time to leave. Like, okay, I know it's about to switch, and most people, I'm thinking at his parties, unless they're just the help or whatever, they have something to lose. And most of the times when you have something to lose, you don't want to be caught up in that unless the host or whatever has made you comfortable in this scenario, or you have got to the point where you just don't care. And I think actually Diddy has really, if he's continuing this, all these years, I think he's at the point where he thinks he's above the law. He thinks that, I've been doing this, no one can touch me, like I'm the untouchable or whatever. But as you can see, they got you, sir. You're not so untouchable, so we'll see how that all goes. So it made us think about all these different situations about, just people's sexuality, them either stating what they are or them concealing it and kind of staying in the closet, or maybe there's not a closet to them. Maybe they just, or I don't know, they're just kind of like on the fence with it, or, my business is my business or whatever. But we know all these people are in high positions or whatever. You know what I mean? Hey, there are positions where, I don't know, you would get, you kind of have to look how you're being represented in the industry. And, it's all about likes and who doesn't like you, and you could be canceled or whatever. So I think all of these people are very cautious on how much, they let us in their life or how much they want us to know. So yeah, we want to talk about the Black man's closet, and because it seems like it's really with the Black man that has an issue with sexuality and people knowing, what you do, what you don't do, or whatever. I'm sure there's some, it happens in some of the other races, but you really see it in the Black races where it's like a real taboo of what you're doing in your bedroom. And it's like, who business is it anyway,
So yeah, the Black man's closet, how it strips us of our humanity. And when I say us, it's the world. We're all kind of losing out when it comes to this type of stuff. So with Diddy, I put Diddy, the reason why this has all continued and it got worse and worse and worse. He probably started off, he's got wealth and power, whatever. But to me, we talked about this last week when we were talking about narcissism, narcissism and narcissistic. Diddy is a narcissist. Not only that, Diddy is a sex addict, and he has other comorbidities, they go along with that. He had, and other addictions, like probably to certain types of drugs and things and stuff, like that. But I would put Diddy as a malignant narcissist, with all of this violence, the threatening. And once Diddy got into this sex addiction phase, because this is what's playing out now, is the sex addiction, and that's why he couldn't stop. And in order with sex addiction, in order to in order to feed that addiction, you got to keep going higher and higher, reaching for more and more. You might start off, a little bit here, you know what I'm saying, or doing a little bit here or whatever. But eventually, to feed that sex addiction, you're going to have to keep adding more and more to it. So the regular, having little sex parties or whatever he was doing, eventually that wasn't enough for him. And then you combine that with the drugs and everything like this. This was feeding me, and it's a mental condition that he had to keep feeding to go higher and higher. Then at a certain point, he was at the point of no return. So even, when they were talking about a year or so ago, he was trying to clean up his life and not kind of do this type of stuff no more. He couldn't stop it, because the addiction had taken over, and then with his narcissism, that malignant, there's overt, covert, and malignant, those are the three most common types of narcissism. Last week we talked a lot about overt and covert as they kind of cross into each other. But this violence, the threatening, the going above the law, trying to sneak with the sex trafficking and stuff, like that. He already went too far and he couldn't stop it. And there's where that malignant part comes in, and the malignant narcissists, they're the most dangerous of all narcissistic people. They are the most dangerous, because those are the ones who are out there where you hear about people killing each other, like physically abusing each other. The way he stomped Cassie in that hallway that day, that was so over the top, and that rage that came out of him, he couldn't even control himself, and that type of malignant narcissism, that's the type where women end up dead, when they try to escape that type of stuff. It's luckily that she got away, or whatever, because he could have went so far over the top, because those type dude where he could have killed her.
True.
So
yeah, I mean, there has to be a place and an outlet for people that are into, because he's not the only one there was people participating. And if this is your thing, this is your thing, but do it with people that, you have their consent. And this is not like an issue where you're threatening people or you're using your position over them to, be ruler or be God or whatever. And, you're forcing them to do stuff and you're paying off people and, don't say this and I'll give you this much, all that kind of stuff. It shouldn't take that. If this is something you want to do, then just because I don't think he's married, so it's not like he was out here cheating or whatever. But when you're forcing people and you using your power, you're abusing, you're using your power to control people and make them do things because they seem to be inferior to you or whatever. Yeah, I think I have an issue with that. But there's one other person I forgot, Bashir. Great. He's been trending on Twitter as well. And, he's doing things with, girls and boys. And he kind of does like this queerbaiting thing where he say, I'm going to do this, but you have to come to my OnlyFans to see me do it or whatever. And then you get over there and it may not be quite what you want to see, but then it may be what you want to see. But it's like, if this is who you are, then just come out and say that or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like maybe he's gonna run out of empire money, and now he needs to do this. Now he needs to do these OnlyFans shows or whatever. I don't know.
It's called the price of fame. Everybody wants to be famous. Not everybody, but just a lot of people want their 15 minutes of fame, and then some people get that. Then they don't, a lot of people don't realize, they just see what they see on the TV or people on Instagram, the Instagram models or what people are posting, making this all seem out to be just the most fabulous life, or or I'll be recognized if somebody can just, if I can, be famous or something, like that. And people, they'll go into that, and that eventually leads to, well, if you actually, I lived in Los Angeles, so, I would see movie stars, I see famous people all the time. You don't actually pay them any attention when you live there around them, and they know how to maneuver through, so it's really people who are visiting, who are, ooh, look at so-and-so, look at you, look at Janet Johnson, or something, like that. Most people who live there don't pay them any attention like that. So, but the ones who try to get that stardom, and money has, sometimes they want the stardom because they think they're going to make a lot of money. And a lot of times they can, if they can reach that level of stardom. With Brashear, he was pretty much, some people knew him through the hip hop, music world or whatever, but a lot of people didn't know who he was till he was on Empire, right? Well, that type of fame that quick can build you up, and so he may have made a lot of money, but he didn't know what to do with it. He did it with a lot of people, when they don't know what to do with money, they get it, and then they start buying things that ain't even necessary, flashy things to show off, or to show, I'm this now, or whatever. Well, when that, and any movie star, any of them can tell you they're not constantly making movies and stuff all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's times when they're not making anything, and they may have to go wait tables, or they may have to go, do some other type of part-time job or something like that till another gig comes around. Well, probably with him, he had Empire. He did a couple of little other things after that, but he didn't know what to do with that money. He didn't know what to do with that power. And then when that power is not there, even in this short length of time that power had, left him, and there's people there who abused him, where they took advantage of him, but people will let you do stuff to them so they can be famous. Right. So sometimes you can't always blame the people, the moguls around you and stuff, like that, because they do know how to manipulate you. They do mess with your money. They do a lot of things that they shouldn't do. But people in the beginning, in order for them to grasp that fame, they allow that type of stuff, and it becomes a problem when when they don't have the fame and stuff no more. And so with him, his fall from grace, from his fame, whatever, I think he just, my thing is he probably just blew all that money that he had.
And I'm assuming the money thing, because I'm not in his pocketbooks. I don't know anything. This could just be something he likes to do. Some people, like you say, Diddy probably has a sex addiction. He might have one too. I don't know. He may just be doing it, but you can tell in the videos he kind of looks like he's kind of like strung out, for lack of a better word, like he's on something or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know how his bank account is or whatever, why he's doing this or whatever, but it's just kind of strange for someone that, we saw every week. I think they came on, maybe a Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that. I don't know, because I used to watch Empire, and to see them, in that role every week on Fox or whatever, and now they're baiting you to come watch their OnlyFans, or they're putting all this nudity out, because most of his stuff he's unclothed. He's like naked. I don't know if I've seen anything where he has clothes on or whatever that I've seen on Twitter or whatever. So yeah, I don't know, but I feel kind of sad for him that he's doing this or whatever. But hopefully he can make a comeback, or hopefully this is not all where his income is coming from. Hopefully he has some money somewhere, but I don't know.
Well, he may be able to come back or whatever, but he's kind of done the taboo now, where if that was actually him on OnlyFans, the video you sent me, I looked at it and it looked like him, but in a way it didn't look. It looked like him a lot, but in a way it didn't look like him. You know, so yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was really him.
Well, I saw T.S. Madison the other day. She said she's a subscribed to his OnlyFans.
Oh, she did.
So she yeah, she's saying
So but even then, you know, the video looked fake to me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all both out there naked, you know, or whatever, but it didn't look like somebody was. Now there might be other videos out there of him on OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? There's other stuff out there that may show this, but what I looked at from the video you sent me, it didn't show nothing. It just showed like somebody in back of him pretending to be doing this, and he's making noises like Shannon Sharpe. Oh yeah, you know, doing something like Shannon Sharpe.
That's the queerbaiting that we're talking about today, because the videos that some of these dudes do, they won't just outright do it where you can just come and watch it free. They try to bait you in. And so what he was doing is trying to get you to watch his OnlyFans so you can see, you know, the rest of it, or it in its entirety or whatever. But I heard that once you went over there and watched the video, he just was jacking off in front of another dude. That one video now, watching T.S. Madison seemed like he did a little bit more, but it's like she subscribes to him or whatever. But I'm just going off what I saw and then what I've heard or whatever. It really wasn't like anything done or whatever from what I've heard. But now that I've heard what she said, it seems like it is some stuff going on. But yeah, they do this queerbaiting instead of just saying, you know, I'm gay or I'm bi or whatever. They do this to pull the fan base over, you know, and it's like, that's unfair, because we do have actual gay people that we can go and see this stuff if that's what we want to see. We don't need you to try to come over here and monetize off of us or whatever. And I know it's this big thing about, oh, but that's a straight man or whatever, and we want to see the straight men or whatever. But we have to get to a place where we, you know, we have some confidence of self-confidence, self-esteem about ourselves, that we don't go down this route to where we have to watch people that are not in our community do things and we pay them. When we have people in our own community that, you know, do this work, whether that's, you know, porn or stripping or, you know, whatever, pole dancing, you know, whatever it is. Because I know this other dude, what is his name? Stennis, something like that. Stennis, he does those sip and paint things, and he claims he's not gay or whatever, and that, you know, that's fine or whatever. But you can see he clearly baits the gay community to come over and you know, fund his sip and paint things or whatever. And some of the dancers or strippers are gay, and then some of them are straight, and they let you touch them and all this kind of stuff. And you know, so yeah. So
with Brashear, and a lot of this gay baiting, I know people like to give them credit at saying that they're straight, you know, or that they're, you know, they're queer baiting or gay baiting or whatever. They like to give them the credit and still say that these people are straight. Well, you know, I don't know their sexuality. I wouldn't put them as straight though. I would say you're probably more, you probably lean more bisexual. You may lean more on the straight spectrum. You know what I'm saying? But in order for you to get on a video butt naked and a man's in back of you slapping his wing wang on you, right? You know, and then you're sitting there making those type of noises. That's not a straight man. Is not going to go do that, you know. But you can do that with a woman. You know, there's plenty of women. There's plenty of porn industry that, you know, in the porn industry out there that they can make plenty of money off of that, like that. You know, there's plenty of straight people out there who watch straight porn. Okay, so for you to the gay guys are going to watch you. You know, they're, you know, most on these internets and stuff, they're like that. Most of the people who are watching these guys are gay guys that are watching these so-called straight guys, right? It ain't mostly women that are watching them, like contrary to what people want to believe. It's mostly gay guys are watching, and a lot of these guys know that, you know, whatever, and they can capitalize, you know, they can capitalize off of it. But there's a point where you go too far, you know. So yeah, you can dress, put on clothes and think you're dressing gay, or whatever, or get on a TV show and you can be straight and pretend like you're gay and you think you're acting out our mannerisms and, or walking gay or talking gay or whatever, or doing the lisp and the hand thing, or whatever. You can get out there and do that. But when you cross that line and do the sexual thing, then, and you're butt naked, okay, then you're not 100% to me. Okay, you're not 100% heterosexual. That sounds like somebody that's bisexual or somebody that's severely on the DL, And then and I'll throw Shannon Sharpe. I don't know anything about Shannon Sharpe. I wouldn't say that he was gay, but I would, just from what I've seen and listened to, for him to go to the extreme of putting out a video of him having sex with a woman and then getting on there lying to say that, he threw it on the bed, threw the phone on the bed, and it went to Instagram. Or, me and you tried that, and you can't just get on there and do that.
Right.
Okay. But then he comes back out and says, no, that's not what really happened. So he lied. Okay. So he lied. Why are you lying? If you're not worried about, because he did say, I'm not worried about nobody calling me gay or whatever. So, but to me, you are, and a lot of DL men, closeted men, they have those type of feelings and stuff. They can get out here in the public and say, oh yeah, I'm, gay people don't bother me. Oh no, I'm not gay. Whatever, they can do this type of stuff, but internally they're suffering, because there's something else going on inside of there, whatever. His excuses and the lies that he have said over these last few days, or whatever, to cover up this, it points to, I don't want any, I'm ashamed of who I am, and I don't want anybody to say that I'm gay. Yeah, you might lose endorsements, he might be worried about money, and all this other type of stuff, what people are out there talking about. But to me, the real issue is I don't know for sure, my own feelings is that he's a closeted DL. He's a DL guy. And there's and if he is, there's somebody out there who he has secretly messed around with, who may not have known who he was. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys and famous people with money and stuff, they can go all over the world, and they can hire, you can go to the Dominican Republic, you can go anywhere, and you can pay these guys or girls, to have sex with you. A lot of them don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And they can do this stuff anonymously, or, they can have a man, they can have somebody who they might be with, they've been messing with for years or whatever. And they keep because most gay guys do keep DLP guys secrets. You know what I'm saying? But there are those out there who will expose you. But for the most part, most gay guys are not going to expose closeted or DL guys, right? But with Shannon, there's somebody out there that's a guy or something that where he has fulfilled that bisexual side of him.
And he had a stylist that was gay, and he let him go because people started talking about them on the court side right there, all glammed up and stuff like that. So I think he definitely has an issue of other people, talking about him or whatever. I don't think he has an issue with being around gay people, and I think he would be safe in a world where you can be straight and have gay friends. You can be straight and have gay associates. You can be straight and have people that work for you that are gay or whatever. But when the people start talking about you and they run with these rumors, I think that's when it gets uncomfortable for him, because he's never, from what I've seen, he's never tried to profit from it. He's never tried to profit from being around gay people and all this kind of stuff, or like we kind of say Brashear is doing and Chopper was doing with his post or whatever. But it seems like he's very uncomfortable, and probably from the background, he's a football player, so they're tough and whatever. Probably from that background, it's very unsettling for him to be teased about that, and for his friends, his his associates, his counterparts to just tease him and talk about him and make jokes and all this stuff about him or whatever. So he definitely needs to get to a place where he's comfortable and knowing that even though I may surround myself with people that are gay or whatever, whatever the sexuality may be, that has nothing to do with me. I'm just being a friend. I'm just being a coworker. I'm just being an associate, or I'm just, whatever. You don't have to try to cover it up or whatever and put out false stuff or whatever. Because I personally thought about like, when I have sex, I call out people's names, and I do at times, but I'm like, it just really like just him saying Michelle, I was like, you didn't even have to tell. I mean, you didn't have to do that, but if that's what you do, it do. But that just to me was kind of funny or whatever. But I know it happens or whatever. But you didn't have to do that though. To me, it was like, let me put a stamp on it to let you know this I am with a girl or whatever. I mean, because you could have did all that without even calling her name. So, and then like we said, there's no way you can just drop your phone and it presses live for you to go live on Instagram. So right. Yeah,
because you can be an ally to the gay community and not worry about what somebody thinks of you.
Right.
The issue is it's still like a stigma to being gay or bisexual or whatever, especially in the Black gay community. You know what I'm saying? Now it's out there in the world at large too, but in the Black straight community, they do have, it's like to be labeled gay. We've said this before, to be labeled gay or thought that somebody might think that you're gay is like the worst thing, almost like the worst. It's like the worst thing kind of in the world, like you go, like we said, you can go out there and end up in jail or something for killing somebody or doing something really harmful. And then, they're going to love you and do whatever, and come see you, whatever. Sometimes not all, but sometimes when you tell somebody that you're gay or something, like that, it becomes like the worst thing, or whatever. And Black men do not want to be seen as gay or bisexual because they think it does something to their, like you're stripping them of their masculinity or something, like as far, or their Blackness or something.
And it could be the discrimination as well too. Who wants to be discriminated? So if I do come out as gay or whatever, I have to go through this discrimination that I see you guys go through or whatever. So it may just be, what I don't even want to deal with that, because a lot of people
don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, no one wants to be discriminated over.
But we get discriminated throughout the world for everything.
Yeah,
so for anything you get discriminated against. Sometimes you don't even know you're being discriminated against, or whatever. But you could still be an ally. There women, there's
oh yeah, I ain't talking about the ally part. I'm just talking about some Black men or some gay so-called straight men. They probably don't want to just come out and say that because I don't even want to be discriminated with, because I don't even want to go through all that. So and you don't want to, and like we said the other week about letting people come out when they're ready or whatever. Some people just don't want to go through the discrimination, so I'm just going to keep it on the down low or whatever.
Or they fear losing their friends, family, job, money,
money
and stuff, like
backlash,
that. Right. That. So with the allyship, they're, like with Shannon Sharpe, well, Hollywood was doing his, I guess, styling, right? Mm-hmm. And before that, he had somebody, I guess they said her name was Shelly or something. It was a woman who styled him. So when he I guess whenever he met Hollywood, mm-hmm. Hollywood started styling him a little bit differently, mm-hmm. and he ended up with more pastel colors and mm-hmm. The hair, he just you can tell the difference between when the woman was styling and then when the gay guy Hollywood was styling. I looked at some videos and stuff, like that, and they, even with my friends that are straight, we lean into each other. We can be sitting that close and stuff, and they're straight or whatever and stuff. They're not worried about somebody thinking that they're gay just because they're with me or something, you know, like that. They're not going out there, well, I got to go actually.
And clearly he didn't either, because he's on course side with this dude.
And
yeah. So he doesn't, it's his peers that makes him feel bad about it.
And then so here's the thing. When, you know, there's lots of straight people out there who don't worry, but they ain't worried about what people are saying and their peers, you know, or anything and stuff, you know, like that. You know, they don't care, you know, yeah, I'm with my friend or whatever. They're not having a fit because somebody might think that they're gay or bisexual just because they're with you. Because sometimes people do think that they're gay or bisexual because they are with you or whatever. They're not worried about it, you know, whatever. And then and they're almost like, you know, F the, you know, F the main thing about, you know, whatever. They know their true masculinity, they know their true nature, right? When you have to go out, like Shannon, he could be an ally to the gay community, because like he says, I don't have anything against gay people, you know, and you know, I work with them, I do so and so. But when you go, you know, when you go over that line to prove, you know, to try to prove that you're not gay, you know, or you're not bisexual or something, you know, like that, and then you know, it's flowing out your mouth like water. So, oh, I'm not gay, you know, I'm not gay. And then all of a sudden this video comes out just as people are, because they've been talking about him for a while, right? But recently they've been really talking about him. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's his stylist, you know, when he fired him, all of a sudden just fired him. And then he goes back to Shelly as his stylist. And then he starts making up this weird excuse of why he went back to Shelly as his stylist and got fired Hollywood, you know, or whatever. Well,
and see, all that had died down. I think it was Cat Williams
that brought
it back up. And so it's like, oh Lord, here we go again with this, you know. So
which lets you know, you can't even really, you know, straight men can't even be an ally. Black straight men can't even be an ally to the LGBTQ plus community without the stigma, you know, like without a stigma of somebody thinking that they're gay or bisexual too, right? And then hey cuz, that's my other cousin Kendall. I think I ain't looked at it yet, but that might be my cousin Kendall. But you know, so now he has to go dispel this so-called myth of him being gay or bisexual, whatever. He has to go out there and then to put out video, you know, to put out that type of video. To me, that was stage 2. You know, that doesn't, you know, he may have been having sex with that woman, you know, or whatever. But to me, it was probably, to me, he done paid her, you know. It just was just over the top. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then the lies and stuff that came with it, so he can dispel the myth that he's gay. All he did was draw more attention to him, actually. Right. Because now everybody is really thinking that he's gay or bisexual. I think he's probably DL bisexual, but that's nothing I can prove. That's just my own opinion, you know. But you know, that video makes me think that he's trying to hide and cover up something. You know what I'm saying? And eventually somebody will come out, because the universe always comes full circle, no matter what any of us do. When we do something, you know what I'm saying, to negative or whatever, then that comes back around. Eventually it comes back around.
It didn't seem like you know, sometimes these stars, they do stuff, because he's not the first star, a celebrity that this has happened to. We've seen people have sex or oral, or they flash you on their Instagram pages or whatever. So he's not the first, and I'm sure he won't be the last. But I don't see why this was needed, because I believe his YouTube show is doing very well. And I think he has a sports show with Chad Ochocinco or whatever. He has a whiskey. I mean, you know, all this stuff is doing well. So that's why it's like, to me, you were trying to prove a point. Like, you were really trying to get the gay bashers off your back or whatever, because you seem to be doing well. There was no reason for you to be in the headlines. You know, I think you're doing okay. You know,
some of them were saying that he was trying to get it back in the spotlight, you know, because nobody wasn't paying him any attention. But that's a weird way to go to get back in the spotlight.
You should just have a celebrity on your show.
I think a lot of straight people are trying to make excuses for him because a lot of straight people want him to be straight. They don't want him to be that gay or or bisexual or any whatever spectrum he falls on,
right? Because
they see him as this hardcore football player, the Shay they saw all them years ago or whatever and stuff, and trying to hide your sexuality, no matter what it is, it doesn't have to be gay or whatever. But when you start trying to hide that and cover, whatever and stuff, it starts bringing out other type of things. Okay, but I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this little video, and then I came across on TikTok. I think it was TikTok, and then this will be our little chuckle for the week. This is about Shay. So YouTube may come back and
what?
And cut the channel. I don't know for me playing this.
What is this video, child?
I'm not showing any nudity or anything like that. But YouTube has gotten very, they're real strict about what you can say, and we say all type of stuff on here. So
a whole list of words you can't say.
a whole lot of other stuff you can't do. But I thought this was kind of funny on Shay.
Oh yeah, that's my Michelle. That's my Michelle. Michelle, what's your last name? Johnson? That's my Michelle Johnson. Oh, yeah.
Whole animal. Because he did sound like a whole, I don't know.
Yeah, he was over the top.
Like he's growling over there, like, what are you doing? Is she killing you, child?
And the other thing is, why would you want somebody to hear that anyway? I mean, that's supposed to be their personal moment or whatever.
And it was too short. That's why I said I hope it's at the end, because maybe I'm gonna need maybe you need to go shower and redo this, because that was too short for me. I need more.
To me, it was staged, because then she's out there. That could be embarrassing to her, and and he's out there selling merchandise on it, talking about my Michelle merchandise. What kind of person does? You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was gonna be no. I spread on Twitter. Somebody said they was looking for Michelle Williams to come out from Destiny Child. I was like, I don't think she would be with nobody like him.
I think that
this Michelle Child, come out, Michelle. You okay?
I think he paid her and staged to do that, and then after that was over, he may have invited Michael over instead of Michelle.
Okay, right.
So he may
bring your cousin.
Yeah, but with the money a lot of these rich people have, they're out of town doing their business and stuff, messing with with boys. These men are out there messing with boys. It's just like when women get on these these so-called married women, these straight married women get on these cruise ships and stuff. You know how they do? They can be married or in relationships and stuff. They get on them cruise ships and they go buck wild if their husbands or boyfriends or partners aren't with them, and then they're trying to sleep with you. They on there, they'll be sleeping with women. That messing around. They do a lot of stuff on the cruise ships.
Oh wow!
Okay, and oh yeah, I mean, when we've been on the cruise ship, the women they've been all over us. Trying to get us back to their room and all other type of stuff. But they're doing this out of town. They're not doing it in their hometown. When you have money, you can go wherever you want, pick up whatever little trade, whatever little. Whether it's a female, male, whatever, you can buy that type of stuff, and your secret is safe unless they recognize you or something and may try to extort money or something else. Now with Hollywood, he's already done said a few little comments, right? So who knows what he may come out and say, which would be wrong in my aspect. I think he should just leave that alone and don't say anything, because that could be dangerous for him also.
Shannon
for Hollywood.
Oh,
oh
yeah, because I did see that he's supposed to be doing an interview with maybe Tasha K or something. Like he wants to to tell the truth or something. I don't know, spill the beans or whatever. I don't know. But
Jay and Joe, they were talking about earlier about when you were talking about gay baiting.
Bashir, they were thinking, he said something about, you don't think he can come back or something.
Yeah. I'm not saying I don't think he can come back, because, a lot of times people can come back from stuff or whatever. It may not be on the scale that he was on Empire, because right now they do have that, they got the gay, what's that? What's the little black flower that the scarlet? Was it black or red? He's got the scarlet letter on him, or whatever. The gay thing, or whatever. And he actually showed himself. It's different when people are just saying stuff and they don't actually see you doing anything, or whatever. He actually put himself out there, and they see him. They see him butt naked. Ding dong hanging this, was sticking out this way, some man in back of him, to me, pretending to thrust on him. Well, that's too close. That's not a heterosexual black man. That's either a bisexual man or a gay man, who's in hiding, or whatever. But he's doing, in his mind too, he's doing what he need to do probably so he can survive, because he probably done hit rock bottom. We done saw him sleeping somewhere, somewhere where I think he was out, where they showed a picture of him somewhere out where he was where they thought he was homeless or something, or he wasn't here, wasn't, I guess the drugs or something, his lips was all crusty and, hair all over the place and stuff, like that too. So I don't know. People do a lot of things to survive, stuff, like that. But to get that close to a man butt naked or something, then you'd have to be bisexual or gay, to do that part. And then Jay said, Jay or Joe, they said, I think at this point anybody can come back if they have the right people behind them. Most can, because there's some who have not come back from the graveyard. You know what I'm saying?
And it may not be to the point where you are. Because Lifetime, that's where Vivica Fox is. She over there doing movies almost every week or whatever. Then you got what is this, Tubi and stuff like that, or you can even sell your story and have a show or whatever. So like you said, there's ways for people to come back. They how they spin it, but they may not reach that. He may not be in people's household every week like he was, but he can still.
And the other thing is the sexism part of it. Okay, if he was a woman, he would probably be able to come back probably a little bit quicker. The society sees it differently when a woman has made porn videos or done, what I'm saying, or exposed themselves or did anything, like that. When a man does it, it seems like the stigma follows them, almost a lifetime or whatever. Unless they come out and then say, yeah, I am gay or I am bisexual, right? If they actually come out and do that, and some do later, once their careers are over or the press is just hounding them, or you know what I'm saying? Then they may come out later and say, yes, I am, whatever. Right. But most, they say most people, most gay men, most gay men in the closet or down, or bi men and stuff, they say most of them don't come out. The ones of us that y'all do see, that's a small minority. The ones you see at the clubs or us here, us out here, or us out here protesting and fighting for rights. That we're actually in the minority. It doesn't look like that, because you see so many. But most gay and bisexual men are in the closet, or really on the down low.
Right. Yeah.
So.
And they may never come out. I mean, it's just like it's such a taboo thing. It's like, and then the women don't make it any better. They talk about you and, oh, you're a weak man, or I don't want no sissy. It's just like, it's just not, I don't know, as much as we made progress, it seems like we still have these issues with people just being who they are. And we're so concerned about what people do in their bedroom. It's like, why? You know, if they're not sexing you, what difference does it
They're not
make?
affecting you and they're not causing you any harm.
Yeah.
You should be able to express your sexuality or the way you want to have sex, you know, as long as you're not harming animals and children, you know, or forcing anybody to do anything. You should be able to have whatever type of sex you want if the other person is willing, or the persons, you know, are willing, you know, or whatever. And then there's the issue. You know, there's another issue is, you know, people are so concerned about somebody being gay, bisexual, or their sexuality and stuff. We're starting to see with now with the internet and stuff, you know, we can see stuff like what, you know what I'm saying? So you're starting to see that people have very different types of sex. You know, there's all different types of sexualities out there. You know, we're starting to see now with the different genders, you know, and people are talking about it more freely, and more people are saying, you know, I'm this, I'm not that, I'm this, you know, with more people coming out and stuff, you know, like that. Then, you know, we're starting to see that just, you know, what you see behind somebody when, you know, behind closed, you know, when they open the door, what you see out there, you know, out there in the world is not really what's really going on behind those closed doors. And sometimes when I say closed doors, that means in their head. You know, what's actually going on in there. What we portray out to the public is not necessarily who we really are, you know, or whatever. And a lot of it is just a facade. You know, and you'll see that when people actually hit rock bottom, or they, you know, they have these addictions and things like that. And then when they can't beat those addictions, then all of this even more madness and craziness starts coming out. And then you start seeing them and you be like, I didn't know that person was like that. You know, even though people have heard about Diddy for years and stuff, you know, like that, he would never come out and say that he was bisexual. You know,
and that's what I was gonna say, with all these people, with the Shannon Sharpe, with the Chopper, with the Brashear, and the August Alsina, we wouldn't know unless you brought it to us. You brought it to us. But with Diddy, someone opened the door for us and brought us into his business, you know, because Diddy has over the years has really gone under the radar. You know, even though there's been this and this here and there or whatever, it's all been kind of speculation until now. But like the Shannon Sharpe, you brought the guy to the, you know, to the games, and y'all going to amusement parks or wherever. Chopper, you posted this on Twitter, you know, and you're trying to say, you know, that, you know, you're an ally, and I guess you want, and he probably is an ally, but to kind of throw that, it was kind of cloudy that you're saying I'm coming out, but you mean you're coming out with a new single or whatever. And then for sure, you're posting this stuff on Twitter, and you have the OnlyFans. And then August, you're the one that came out and said, you know, I like this dude or whatever. So you're bringing this out. We wouldn't even known if y'all, you know, if you wouldn't have brought it out. Or whatever, maybe people close to you, they would have known it or whatever.
There's people who know. There's always been people who knew about Diddy. There's even people who said they knew about Brashear. But it
wouldn't have been a big thing until you like brought it out.
But just like in Hollywood, you know, I just use Hollywood, you know, even though people are making movies and stuff everywhere, the music industry, Hollywood and stuff, you know, like that, people have beards that they use to cover up their, you know, they'll marry, you know, just I'll take a man for instance, or a woman, you know, they'll marry, they know that they're gay, but they'll marry a woman. There's no nothing going on unless the person's bisexual. But there's nothing sexual going on. That's what they just use to show out in public. And that sounds like what's going on here too with Will Smith, you know, with you know, I don't know what'd you say, Alsina, or what'd you say his name was?
August Alsina.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but with Shannon Sharpe, you know, you go and throw Diddy in there, which Diddy's turned very sadistic, but any of theirs can turn very sadistic when they let this fester and go on and all that hiding stuff, you know, like that. I'm not the one to tell people when to come out or to come out, but it seems like it does more harm not coming out than it does to stay inside your, you know, to let all that fester inside your head, whatever.
And maybe that's why they do let us, because I would have never known about Shannon Sharpe, Brashear, August, or even Diddy unless you or someone exposed you or whatever. I would have never known it. You could have gone your whole life with just doing whatever you're doing, and I would have been on because I don't interact with you. I don't interact with these people.
Shay Shannon was
Right.
whatever. I didn't know who Diddy was. I heard Diddy for years, whatever. I didn't know any of the real hard details and stuff, but just from years ago, hear stuff about him and his sexuality and stuff, like that. And just I don't want to put that on it either, but because they say gays like to dress flamboyantly and stuff, like that. When you start looking at their dress, like some of the stuff that Diddy and stuff would put on, it can be over the top, like sometimes like how drag queens put on their makeup and they put on the stuff and it's like way over the top, right?
All of Hollywood is strange to me, though.
Yeah.
They are
and believe it or not, a lot of people, a lot of famous people are response being called gay after discussing his sexuality. Okay. But a lot of people in the world really they don't want to admit this or whatever, but I think most people then are have a twinge of bisexuality in everybody. You just choose to suppress it, or you're taught at an early age that this is the way you got to be or whatever.
Right.
So you learn to suppress that,
Right.
and you might not experiment or follow up on it or whatever because society says it's a taboo. But I think most people somewhere in their life they have thought, something sexually in their head about the opposite sex, even being gay. Like a gay man, you could say I'm born gay, or whatever. But they still have probably had somewhere in their life, in their head, even though they are with a man or whatever, but they probably had somewhere in their head where they thought about what it would be like probably to be with a woman or have sex with a woman or something, because a lot of us have. But I think a lot of people, and just like women, I think they've had thoughts in their head of, what it would be like to have sex with a woman, or whatever. And men too, men just aren't, women might come out and say it quicker than what men will. And black men really ain't going to say that unless they just get caught and have to come out because they were DL and they got caught or something.
I think the fact that you think it's a issue and you're like, because I've heard the conversation like, oh no, I ain't gonna do that. Just the fact that you got all that to say, you thought you it's passed through your mind or whatever, but you're giving off that it's a bad thing, because you're like, oh, I want to do all that, but you visioned it for you to even think that that's an issue or whatever. But I don't know. Sometimes people give way to how they feel, and then some of them don't, and I think it's gonna bother them until they actually. So yeah, I think a lot of people are bisexual or have a tendency to you just have an attraction.
Right.
It like, I know
it doesn't mean you are
right.
It just
right.
means you might be
you find the other sex attractive. You can see yourself like, I know guys probably be in the shower and be like, oh, you got a nice, or even at the gym, like, yeah, you got a nice body, whatever, and, stuff like that. And yeah, so I think it goes through people's minds.
Yeah. And I think with Diddy that, Diddy has already, there's no comeback. He's already crossed that thin line of from sane to insanity. I think with his sex addiction, and the narcissism, the narcissism, and everything that's going on with him, Diddy is, I think from an early age, Diddy knew that he was attracted to men. Probably early as an early teen or something, whatever. And then he tried, he did what he could to suppress that. And I think with the fame, because he was a young child star, he was in some TV program. And then as he grew up, got into the music and with all his little businesses and stuff, like that, with him trying to suppress this all these years, the negative stuff started coming out because he
suppressed it because he was having parties.
Yeah, he was having parties, but he didn't want anybody to know. He didn't say
Not
that.
the general public, right?
Yeah,
General public.
now, but then he also this is part of his.
I'm sure he had them people sign NDAs. I'm sure
He
there's
may have.
NDAs all over the place.
He may have, but he's, you know, when you read this, when you read this, I read that 14-page,
From the attorney general.
yeah, I read the 14-page. That's too small for me to see right now. But he went to great lengths to cover up what he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
And then when it turned from a sex party, having sex parties,
Mm-hmm.
or just having orgies, and stuff, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Once it turned from that to violence
Mm-hmm.
and coercion,
Right.
and threatening people,
Yeah.
and
Drugs.
drugging them, it's all in there.
Yeah.
What the stuff he did, he had already crossed that line into deprivation.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, he is depraved in his mind to be the way he beat. I don't know. I can't say whether he did any harm where somebody is not here anymore. I don't know anything about that.
Right.
But usually this type of behavior has led to that type of stuff. I'm not putting that on him, but we do know of so many abusive women who were in relationships with these malignant narcissists who beat them to death.
Because what's her name, Kim Porter or something? They think that maybe he had something to do with her. But they've been saying for years he had something to do with Biggie's death and stuff like that.
And now they're bringing Tupac into it too. I mean, I don't know. There's so much swirling out there, but but the universe comes full circle. These people, when he got arrested, they've been on him for years. They don't just come after you right away. They've been watching you for years and years and years till they have their case. And when they get ready to arrest you, now sometimes they can be wrong, but most of the time when they're not going to arrest you or do any of that type of stuff till they know that they have a case.
And I think Cassie, she sprung this because when she came forward and said all that she said, and then that very next day you settled, like she sued. I think it was for like millions or whatever. And we were like, oh shoot. And that very next day, he paid her off.
Mm-hmm. And he's paid a lot of people off.
Yes, but the feds, pretty sure they still have what she presented, even though I don't know if they can still use it. But if other people come forth with other stuff, they can. Because I think once he settled with her, that stuff, but they still seen it though. So now they're waiting for other people to come forth, and when and they probably have. And that's why they were able to take him or whatever.
But see, that's how you know that this is sex addiction also.
And then that video came out, him beating.
Right.
Yeah.
This is how you know that he has that is sex addiction. He's gone well above the normal, what people consider normal sexual stuff. You know what I'm saying? He went to interstate commerce. Okay. He was sex trafficking. You don't have to go do that to find sex. There's people out there that are going to give you sex for free.
Right.
Just there's people you can put it out there, because don't they have like little sex parties and stuff everywhere? Mm-hmm. There's people when they put that out there. There's people who show up, and then what is it? You got to pay. Is it like a pay thing or something?
Yeah.
I think so. If but still, you know what I'm saying? It ain't that. I'm sure it ain't that much money to get into those things. Probably $20-$30 or something. Right. But they have all of the things out here where you can go have sex without having to get into the illegal part of it like that. You know what I'm saying? And when he got into the sex trafficking, and then he crossed that line of he went into depravity. And then it shows with. Now here's the thing: these people, these men and women who work for him, they're accomplices, because he was paying them to keep paying them even more, probably over what a regular salary was, his security people, all of this stuff to keep all of this going, to help him bring in underage boys or underage girls. You know, we talked about this in one of our lives. You know, remember I brought it up about, you know, he was he on what's that site where you can rent man, you know, and stuff. You know, I still don't know where you're bringing them in from there and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? That's different. That's probably a little bit different, where he might have been safer that way. You know what I'm saying? Than to be bringing people in from out of the country. You know, bringing them in, crossing the state lines and stuff. You know, like that. And then doing whatever he can to cover this mess up. You know, and threatening and harming people. He doesn't threaten to harm their families. He doesn't threaten to harm them. You know, and a lot of them, they were accomplices until they weren't.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's definitely a power imbalance. Definitely. And he used that to them to exploit them, and you know, the lines of consent, they get all blurred because this is someone that's powerful. Like this is Diddy, and he can, you know, sway you whichever way he wants to.
And money and power blinds us.
It does.
It's almost like we will sell our soul to have a little bit of money, not realizing what's going to come with that down the line.
And look at the countries that he was getting these people. They probably were poor over there, so they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll come over there. I'll come over there and do that." And then, you know, and then
more people here.
And people here, but I can see why
what they will.
I can see why he would maybe go over there and then here, because people here.
So then, how do we think about the people who were accomplices to this? You know, because they allowed this to happen. Some of those people that were brought in, they were brought in against their will.
Now,
with the sex trafficking and stuff, some of them were brought in against their will. You know, and other countries and other, you know, or even in the United States, you know, and stuff, you know, like that. People can be sex trafficked. You know what I'm saying? And they are coerced and forced to do that type
I think that's what it was to me. When I think of
not all of them.
And that may be true, but when I think of an accomplice, I think of the people that were actually there to do stuff with these people.
And it says it when you read that, it says exactly in there, the people who worked for him, they were accomplices. They were with, you know, not all of them, but most of them were willing accomplices, where they were covering up and help him cover up the abuse, you know, because they saw the abuse. They saw people being drugged.
That's why I'm saying the power imbalance.
They saw people being, but they helped him. They were the ones who helped him to bring in the people, the underage.
I would too. If I think that you have something, if I see you with all this power, I'm going to. I mean, not me, but I'm just saying there are people that think like that. That you have all this power. You have to think most of these people are probably broke. They don't have that. This is their chance or whatever. And this is Diddy. You know how many stars I'm gonna meet? How many people I'm gonna be able to encounter? I've had sex with this person, so I can see where the lines, they're not equal. They're not equal. And so they're gonna,
No, I think it was definitely.
But they can label them accomplices if they want to. But that's fine. But I would say that some people were actually afraid.
Sean?
I think some people were afraid. So if you want to call me an accomplice, that's fine. That's fine. But just know that I only stuck this through because I thought my life, when you have somebody threatened, they're going to kill you. They're going to kill your family. They're threatening you. They're paying you. They're getting you this. If it wasn't for this check that's coming or this stack of money that's coming, you feel like you have no choice. So, I mean.
So here's the thing. Those you're talking about, to me, I think you're talking about the people that he was bringing in. I'm talking about the people who actually work for him. He was paying them handsomely.
I think some of them were fair as well.
Some of them, the ones who were working for him, they weren't poor or broke. These were accomplices because the money looked good to them. You know, it was the power. I get to be around Diddy. They overlooked everything else, the harm that was being done. These people overlooked that and they helped him cover up stuff. They helped him bring these people in. Diddy didn't get on the phone or get on the internet and hire an escort. Okay?
Right.
It was the people who worked for him that did that. He paid them handsomely. He didn't give them no little check. I'm going to give you, going to work, 9 to 5, or whatever. Diddy paid with the money he had. He paid them handsomely to help him and to hush them, to hush them up. But also, also people, but also some of the people who were involved in these sex stuff or whatever, all of them weren't drugged and stuff too, because some of them actually did it willingly.
Oh, yeah.
And they also, and some of them also participated in the abuse and stuff too, and they, and those names are going to come out and stuff too. It's the ones who didn't want to participate in this, this type of depravity, and the abuse and stuff. Those are the ones who, will, get off the hook, and stuff, like that. Those ones who are forced. People will snatch your kids and stuff off the street and put them into the sex trade. They can snatch them at early age and then condition them or whatever and put them out there as prostitutes and all other type of stuff. Those people, those are unwilling participants. But these adults that did participate in this knowingly because they wanted fame or money, the money, or to be around Diddy and stuff, like that or whatever, that brought them notoriety also,
right.
That those, they should not be let off the hook. Right.
To me, they're definitely accomplices, yeah. But I'm talking, for me, people that, just seem to be like, I'm disadvantaged and you're giving me some kind of advantage, you're giving me some kind of hope. I don't, like I say, if this is what you do, this is what you do. But I can see people actually being there that's like, I'm trapped and I need this. I can't, I need this. And then I can see the NDAs going out and, the threats and whatever. Now, they're saying now that Mary J. Blige may have a video. There may be a video of her. Like she was like one of the kingpins or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I would hate, for that to be the truth or whatever. But hey, we don't know. But we'll see if this comes out. How many people were involved? Still TD Jake's name is still out there. He may have been a part of this. We don't know. But like for me, if I was a member of his church or whatever, like it wouldn't shock me because I don't put anything past anybody. People are able to do and whatever they want to do or whatever.
As long as you're not forced or coerced.
Right. And hopefully he wasn't. But I don't know. He could have been paid or whatever. And he could have been threatened by them. Like, well, if you don't do it, we're going to put this out. And you're going to lose everything. You're going to lose your wife, your church, we don't know or whatever. But yeah.
And Deshaun is in here saying some stuff that I didn't even know, he's saying some stuff, like about Usher and Justin Bieber and stuff, allegedly, I don't know, it could be allegedly, but that's like could be true. Yeah, that stuff could be true also. And then these type of people do groom and they'll groom people to for their own special needs, or whatever. And he had to feed this sex addiction that he has. This is,
he was Usher's.
This is all about sex.
What is the person that is over like his? He became Usher's. He didn't adopt Usher, but he became his whatever. He became like his whatever it is.
And then Deshaun. So it says he forced Cassie to do things that she did not want to do sexually with him, such as have all those male strippers to do things with her or him. Yeah, he did force it, whatever. I've been listening, I listened to some of it, like what is it, the City Girls or whatever they, different. Some of these women, up until they didn't anymore, they participated in a lot of that. The money looks good to them. It was Diddy. I get to be with Diddy. I'm going to be famous. And stuff. A lot of that gets into their heads and stuff too. And then before they know it, they done went to the point of no return almost. Now they're caught up in this type of stuff too. Even though sometimes at first they might like the different sexual stuff, you know, and and all this type of stuff. You know, I heard about some of the stuff that he was making Cassie do, and not only that, other women and men too. You know, and supposedly he loves men. You know, it's out there. You know,
he got 1,000 cases of baby oil.
Well, that, you know, but he's having so many sex parties. He needs all those different baby oils. He needs all that stuff, you know, for the lube and all this type of stuff. He probably has so many men running in and out of there, but it ain't only men who have anal sex, because women have anal sex too, and they could use the baby oil on the women.
Well, he had lube too. He had 1,000 of baby oil and 1,000 of lube. So yeah. But when they said the baby oil, I said, oh yeah, that's booty sex right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna show this video real quick. You know, and I know everybody has seen it, but you know, I'm gonna show it too. Just, you know, so people can see the depravity of this man. You don't beat anybody like that, you know, and just the way he kept on going, that's that malignant narcissism in him coming out.
Of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her. In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground. As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor back to the hotel room. Ventura is seen picking up a hotel phone. Combs seems to walk back to the hotel room, then returns and appears to shove her in a corner. Moments later, he can be seen throwing an object in her direction. According to Ventura's now settled lawsuit, the pair began dating several years after they met in 2005. They parted ways in 2019. Combs' attorney said the decision to settle was in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Ventura declined to comment on the video, but her attorney told CNN the gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory behavior of Mr. Combs. Words cannot express the courage and fortitude that Miss Ventura has shown in coming forward to bring this to light. The video hasn't been seen publicly before and comes on the heels of a series of civil lawsuits alleging Combs' involvement in sex trafficking and sexual abuse. Allegations Combs has repeatedly denied. In a December 2023 statement, Combs responded to the claims in all the lawsuits, saying, "Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged." CNN has reached out to representatives for.
So,
yeah,
that amount of rage. Did you see the rage that came out of him? That was crazy. He could have killed that woman. You know, he could have broken her ribs. The way he was kicking, he had on shoes. You know, the way he was kicking her and then grabbing her by her head, you know, or whatever. Mm-hmm. There was so much there. You know, he's in jail. He's in jail partly because of that. You know what I'm saying? But also because of the, you know, the sex trafficking.
Well, that's what started. I think if it wasn't for her video, I don't think they would have like really centered. Like they've been building their case maybe, but when Cassie brought her case to them or whatever, that's what really, you know, brought it out there. And then that very next day, he settled. I don't know how much it was, but I know it was some big money. He settled that case, and then the video was released a couple because I guess Cassie was like, I think Cassie released that video. I really do. Or because I don't think because once I don't know how it works, but I want to say once it's settled, like this is no more evidence or whatever. But I think Cassie was like, even though you paid me off, I'm still gonna get this shit out here. And I think she released, because the video came some weeks later, I want to say, and then that's what we were like. And a lot of the stars had to apologize because a lot of them, like you said, Boosie was on his side talking about, oh, this ain't no different than what other entertainers do or whatever. And that's what a lot of people got on Boosie's case or whatever. It's like, no, Negro, this is bad. This is crazy or whatever. You see how he physically and I'm pretty sure sexually abused her or whatever, but he settled that real quick and got it over with. But then that video came out, and I think that video sparked more. And it probably was like, if anybody else has anything, come on, give it to us, because we can't use this video anymore. It's out there now. Now we need more evidence, and they got all their evidence. And okay, we knocking at your door. And got in that house and got the got the baby oil and the lubes.
Well, there's going to be, once this trial actually starts, it's going to all come out. There's a lot of people out there who, like, you know, who willingly participated in this type of stuff, you know, and some of them are running scared now. And it's going to be big names that we've heard of before, you know, whatever, who actually participated in these in this type of stuff. You know, now I'm going to say most of them who probably were there, you know, maybe didn't participate in, they just went to his parties and stuff, right? They probably didn't participate in the sex stuff, and some of them probably didn't even know the sex stuff was going on because he probably had it in some other corridor.
Right.
But the ones that he knew that he wanted to participate or wanted to participate, you know, some of them are running scared because they know that they are accomplices to his evil deeds. Right?
A lot of people, a lot of what they call them, execs have resigned. Right when this came up, they've resigned. Like a lot of them have resigned. That's not a coincidence.
Right.
You knew what was going on, so now you're resigning. So yeah.
So, and it's going to come out, and a lot of them are going to turn witness. They're going to be the ones who participated in this, even though they willingly did or whatever. They're going to be offered immunity for their testimonies. Yeah. Okay. And there's going to be a lot. Okay. And there's going to be so many of them testifying because they don't want to go to jail themselves. Okay. Right. So once this trial starts, it's going to all come out, and we're going to find out it was more depravity and evilness going on there than we thought. So, you know, I'll put this up again. You know, to me, he's a malignant narcissist. And let's see what we got up here in these comments. They're flying here. There's a lot of things that's going on in the industry. A woman named Walk with the Ancestors, she predicts things. She said allegedly Diddy was doing things with Santana. Like Saucy Santana? Deshaun, are you talking about Saucy Santana?
I mean, they have a list of, like you said, Usher, Cuba Gooding Jr. I mean, yeah, there's a list of a whole lot of names. But like you say, some of them may not have participated, but they were definitely there or whatever.
Deshaun says, and you know, Boosie had to defend Freaky P. Diddy, saying that these women willingly wanted to have sex with all these men and stuff like that. It's weird that Boosie said this, you know, whatever, because he's not saying anything about Boosie. You know how he's always talking about gay people, this and stuff, but he's not saying anything about the men that P. Diddy had sex with. He's like, oh yeah, you know, it's like, oh yeah, the women, we do that type of stuff. That's just what we do. But he's not bringing up anything about him having sex with the men. He just made up some comments, you know, like, oh, but he just went overboard, or he did he's a little bit more freakier. And that's the comment he made. But when it comes to these other gay guys, when he's making comments about other people or being gay or whatever, he goes 100% in on them.
Right. That's that NDA talking from.
Yeah.
This is the list. So names like Beyonce, Jay-Z, which I want to say they probably left before all that started. Drake, LeBron James, Meek Mill, Rick Ross, Justin Bieber, Usher, Cuba Gooding Jr., and Russell Simmons, to name a few. So there's a list of people that have gone to these parties. but hopefully, some of these people were not involved in the sex trafficking and all that. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't think most of them are going to be involved in the sex trafficking and stuff, like that. But I think there's a lot of them. It's going to be more than what we think that willingly participated in this, And then, like I said, they may turn evidence so that they won't be prosecuted. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or they may get a lighter sentence or something, or they may get put on probation. Or they may turn evidence or something so that their name doesn't be brought up,
right.
And associated with it. And they make all type of plea deals and all other type of stuff. There are going to be some people who they're going to get, they're going to take them and put them in hiding, because P. Diddy is powerful. He has people out there. If you got people out there helping you with this type of stuff and sex trafficking and stuff, that means he knows people in other, I don't know who they are or whatever. They can be the black mafia. I don't know what, I don't know what it is, but there's somebody else out there that he
that's why I would be so scared. Like if I didn't have enough courage to just walk away or just willingly say I'm not being a part of it, I would be very scared for my life. And especially, then the people that, don't have money and he's paying you or whatever, like the repercussions could be severe, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and so now tell me about this Alsina. What'd you say, Alsina? What's his name?
August Alsina.
August Alsina.
So August Alsina has been in the news. I mean, he's a singer. He I guess the rumor started when he had a picture of his best friend on the internet and Instagram, and then they're trying to sell, I think they sell, is it cologne or something? They sell something together. And it was his best friend. Then he came out with this story where he said, I have found true love with my friend. And because it was some interview or something he just put out there, and people just took it as he's in love with this guy.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, he's in love with this guy. And he was like, no, this is just my best friend. Then the other week, he came out and he said that he was, he was bi, if I'm not mistaken. Tess talked about it too. But yeah, it made the news. So it's like, you guys, it's almost like you're hiding in this closet because we haven't seen you with no girl. We haven't seen you with no woman, but we've definitely seen you with this boy. And y'all are all on each other, and this is my best friend. And I think the statement he made is, I finally know what love is, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about his friend. That's why people went with, okay, so this must be your boyfriend or something like that. And so then, he had to fight that, but now he's come back and said, yeah, I am, bisexual or whatever. So it's like, are you queerbaiting? Are you in the closet? What is it or whatever? But like I say, it really shouldn't matter. And I think, even TS, they were saying, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. It shouldn't matter. But the thing is, why do you keep putting this in our face and not really being open or sharing it with us? Which, I guess you don't have to, but why even put it in our face? Just live your life. However you want to live it. But like I said, all these people, for the most part, have put this in our faces. That's why we're talking about you today. And that's why people are going to continue to talk about you or whatever until you say something. And like on our show, we're not a gossip show. So we're not putting these people in a box and saying, they are this and until they actually say they are or whatever. But it's kind of weird, or it just, it's like suspect, and it's, a topic of discussion, because even though this is what you're doing, we actually see this in our own world. We see guys that are actually like this, and it's because of the fear. It's because of, what people are going to say, or, maybe there's money involved or whatever. What I could lose or whatever. But, I think we use their names because, you guys know them. We hear about them or whatever. But this happens in everyday life where people are afraid to come out the closet, or they tease you and act like they're gay and they're really not, or, it's just crazy.
Yeah. I think I just think most of them are DL because there's so many. There's a lot. There's more. Women don't want to think that, but I think there's just more DL men out here. Than than anybody ever wants to admit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't say that they're 100% gay, but I will put them that most people are bisexual or whatever, and then and they hide it, and with all that hiding and inner turmoil that goes in, what comes with not being your authentic self, or whatever, or not coming out and stuff, then not all the time, but a lot, there's a lot of cases out there, especially, you see this out here with this sex addiction and these where the judges have sentenced these people to sex addiction. They have to go to sex addiction therapy and classes and stuff. You hear about the type of stuff that these people have done or doing and stuff to acting out in that type of sex addiction. It would just break your heart. And a lot of it led to because they couldn't be who they want. Not necessarily somebody was gay or bisexual, but there's other things that was about them that, whatever that they was hiding from everybody. But it was eating them up inside, and then it came out in other harmful ways, because it's got to come out somewhere. It's that has to come out somewhere. And then we see that a lot in a lot of narcissistic behavior. This abuse that some of these men do to these women, and there's some women who abuse men too. But it's just a lot. So.
Yeah, August was he did an interview with Nick Cannon. He was basically saying, that my belief in God played a part in me being open to dating men. He said, it's not even me that's opening my heart. It's that power that's higher than myself. He said, I always say that the greatest gift that God could ever give me was exposure, to expose me to so many different kinds of people, places, and things. When people want you to define yourself in terms of sexuality, love is much more complex than that. So basically, he was speaking how he's fluent in his love and how he opened his heart to another man. So now he's like, I guess he's more comfortable now saying that, yes, I do have love for men as well, or whatever. So,
and it's not sexually, or it is sexual.
And that's what we're on. That's what he's not. He's not saying it.
We still don't know. So do you think? Is that queerbaiting, or is that just is that like an ally that he would be an ally to the LGBT queer community or whatever? I would consider him an ally, or whatever. I don't know whether he's gay, bisexual, or straight or whatever, because that's kind of ambiguous. Or whatever. He could just be friends with gay people, and he can love his gay friends that are, like my friends, some of my straight friends, they tell me all the time, I love you, man.
I think now that he's come out and said this, he gives off more so an ally. But when you initially brought this out, you made it very unclear. You're like, my friend has shown me what real love is. So it left room for interpretation for people to take that or whatever. And when people actually asked him what it was about, I want to say he probably denied it, or he just wasn't ready. So now this recent interview, which was, I guess it was sometime this year, it looks like it was date August 30th. So that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah. I would consider him an ally.
Yeah. So I think, yeah. So now, yeah. But initially it came off like you're kind of like,
gay baiting, or people were saying he was gay or bisexual or something, like that.
Like to pull the gay crowd over by saying like, this my best friend has shown me what real love is. Oh, well then he must be okay. Then he one of us. Yeah, I mean, let's go buy his music, and he want not really making it clear. Are you saying this to just be honest and true about who you are, or are you saying this to draw over the LGBT community or whatever? But now that you're saying that, yeah, I do have love for men as well. Okay, now it's more clear.
So we'll come back to this in a second here. Do you want to go ahead and do our little promote KKMS here?
Sure.
Okay. And then I'll put this up and I'll let you come back and talk about it.
stop like that, huh?
Yeah.
So these are our friends that we're partnering with. They are Distinguished Gentlemen, or KKMS, and Dallas is actually having their Urban Pride. It takes place September 27th through the 29th, and there will be events starting Friday, September 27th, all the way to September 29th, which I believe is a Sunday. That's going to be the closing end date. So we want to invite all the people out there that are in Dallas and Fort Worth and all the surrounding cities, and also anyone that's coming from out of state or even other cities within, Texas or whatever. Friday starts it off where they will be at, I can't see, but go to their website, which is kkmsdallas.com, and they will show you all the different days. And I believe the time should be on there now and the venues or whatever. So go there, check that out. Also, they are selling weekend passes where, it covers everything. So you don't have to wait in line. You just show your little scan thing or whatever and get on in. I think you can get even bottle specials or whatever. And there's one night that's supposed to be an after hours. So hey, for y'all that you don't want to stop at 2 a.m., you want to continue the night, they have the after hours. And also there's a host hotel too. So for those that are coming in from out of state or out of the city or whatever, you can actually get a room and book your hotel room at the Crown Plaza. So check them out again, www.kkmsdallas.com. It is the Distinguished Gentlemen of KKMS. They have been here for some time, just throwing events for us. And I mean, just getting the word out that, Dallas got it going on. So if you want to be a part of our Urban Pride, come on down, visit their website, and let them know that you were sent by me and Alvin from Tit for Tat, this and that. See you there.
And they also do have Sunday fun days. So usually they're down at on premise, not all the time. Sometimes it might be at another venue, but usually most Sundays they do sponsor Sunday fun day down on premise if you want to get out on a Sunday. Usually I think it's somewhere between 5 to 9 or later. Starts off as a day party. So if you want to get out and you want something to do on Sunday, head on down to on premise. Check everybody out there. And then so I put up here, and anybody that's out there who want to answer that too. I said, what do you believe was the real intent behind Hollywood's termination?
Who is Hollywood?
Hollywood is the Shannon Sharpe. He was Shannon Sharpe's stylist. Some people say that he was his secret boy, secret lover. Like, they had, messed around and did stuff, like that. Some people say that that's allegedly. I don't know that to be true, whatever. But
and what did Shannon say? He got fired for?
Shannon said that he which is stupid. He said he fired him because his original stylist Shelly wasn't getting a lot of attention and stuff, and then he was getting all this attention because he was styling Shannon Sharpe, and people were that type of stuff, and so he fired him and hired Shelly back. You'll have to go read that. It just did not even make any sense what he said.
Right.
Why he hired Shelly back and fired him. I think the reason why he fired him or let him go, whatever, is because of the gay rumors. And people were I think they were getting too close. And if he was actually having sex with Hollywood, if they were, clapping cheeks, as Lee Hammock says, but if they were, doing that or whatever, I think he may have given Hollywood money to keep himself quiet and stuff too, or keeping him in a lifestyle,
right?
Or whatever that he was accustomed to, or like you said, he might have signed some papers, saying that not to talk or whatever. But I think it was getting too close,
Yeah.
And so to dispel the gay rumors and nobody find out if they were doing that or whatever. It was probably, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get rid, and Hollywood probably had agreed with it, especially if there was money and stuff involved. He agreed with the split and stuff, like that, and to stay silent and stuff, like that too.
I don't know, because I mean, I don't really. I think I subscribe to Tasha K, but I don't like follow her like that. But I want to say there's an interview supposed to happen. I don't know. I'm not sure. But Hollywood is the same guy that outed a football player before. Right. So my thing is, why, Shannon, would you get with someone that could possibly do the same thing to you?
When you're on the DL, they're not thinking like that.
Oh, I would, especially because evidently you're thinking about it now. So my thing is, don't try to do it now. You should have been thinking about that now, because evidently it's always been an issue. It's always been an issue of other people thinking you're gay, and then you're gonna hire someone that has outed. So to me, I feel like for him, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, for him to even want to hire someone like this, that I know you must have heard that he's outed someone, must not even be seeing this person like that. I'm strictly hiring you to style me or whatever. And that's it. But then when other people start saying, oh no, they doing this, you know what, dude, no hard feelings, I gotta get rid of you. Because I mean, I've been trying to, and I don't know if that started the gay rumors or were there rumors before, but for whatever reason, this hit him hard to where he said, I got to let you go, dude, or whatever. And if he did think, because you did do this to old boy, then yeah, I am going to have you sign an NDA, because we may end up doing something. I don't want you to do me like you did him,
That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm giving different options, so it could have been either one. It could have been strictly that I want you to be my stylist, because I already know how you did, old dude. I don't want to be outed like that, because that's the big thing. I don't want to be outed, and if you did it to him, who would say you're not going to do it to me? So I strictly want you to style me, because I need to go a different route or whatever. But when I got my homeboys talking about me, hey, I got to go another route. I'm sorry. So it could be that, or it could be like you're trying to insinuate that it could have been like, a sexual thing. But my thing is, if he didn't hold his tongue on old boy, what's keeping him from holding his tongue on Shannon, unless there was a payoff or NDA. So, I mean, we'll never know. But yeah, I think so. I'm just going to go by, I think it was the rumors. I don't know if it was any sexual act or if it was any, whatever they had. I'm just gonna say it was the rumors that threw him in that direction to say, I got to let you go.
So didn't he know about Hollywood? Because I think that rumor was, that Hollywood outed somebody I think that was out there before Shannon even hired him.
That's exactly what I said. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm giving him the benefit of that he knew.
Right.
So if you knew, why would you do it? So
right. That's what I'm saying.
So if you did that, then to me, it must be only a business thing, I would think. Because my thing, if I know this, why would I put myself in the same boat as this dude that's got out in all these rumors? I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. And is his booty that good that I'm behind the same?
I don't think it was just business. I think they were messing around, and then he hired him and said he was his stylist. Okay. And that's my opinion. It's all allegedly, because we don't. Anything we're saying is allegedly, because we don't know for sure. But my opinion is, he was messing around with that guy before he even hired him as a stylist. And so if he can use him basically as a cover up, saying this is my stylist, and then he could be messing around with the, having his cake and eating it too. He can be my stylist, and then he's still my lover on the side.
Oh, that's stupid. You could. No, I'm saying,
guys who are in the closet and on the down low, when the stuff that they do to cover up what they're doing, or to cover up their bisexuality, gayness, the lengths they go to cover this stuff up, or whatever. you go back to Diddy, you know.
Yeah, it could be a thing, but my thing is why
To
would
cover
you, so you
They do it also.
could have had him on the side and we could have never known he was your stylist, you know. So my thing is we didn't even have to know he was your stylist. Y'all could have been just doing whatever y'all was doing without that. So it was, to me, it was stupid on his part
I think it was
to
like,
say that he's a stylist and then
close.
you're gonna cover this up by saying he's my stylist. You know?
I think it's like keep your enemies close. You know, if you know we're messing around and stuff too, I'm going to keep him close, and I'll just we'll use the stylist thing, which he did styling. You know, he did styling. You know, he looked nice and all that stuff too.
And he kept him close. So they was right there on the basketball thing.
You know, but to me, I mean, I'm probably wrong, but it just to me it was like I'm gonna keep him as close as I can here, whatever, and I'm gonna get I can still be messing around with him, and people will think. To the public, they'll think that he's just my stylist, but it was really more than just a stylist.
Because he kept him close because they right there on the court side. But then when his homeboy started talking about, oh, now it's an issue. So that to me, I'm not saying that the whole scenario is stupid. I'm saying it's stupid for him to think that he could, like the way he went about it. Like if I wanted to have my freak on, I would have my freak on, and you guys would never know. I'm not gonna hire the person I want to freak if I'm trying to keep it from you and be my stylist and sit him right there. To me, that's just crazy. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I mean, people do it all the time. Right.
It's with famous people.
I'm just saying, I would not do that. I mean, you do however you want to do it, but to me, that's
just like you're gay or bisexual and you're hiring a beard to a person to pretend like like you're with them and you're a couple. People do a whole bunch of strange things to cover up their indiscretions or anything or what they don't want nobody to find out about. And sometimes it might look odd to us, like, why would they do that?
To me, it's drawing attention, and that's the very thing that you fired him for. I think the very thing you fired him for is because of the attention. So my thing, why are you putting it out there? Because it's gonna draw attention. You can't think that you trying to be this super masculine dude, and then you have the stylist that's so flamboyant, and you think people are not gonna say anything about it. To me, you're drawing attention to yourself. So for me, y'all handle it however you want to handle it. But for me, I would have just kept that person in the dark. Y'all would have never known about this person. So it would have never been a thing. But for you, that it's just a crazy way to do it. But I know people do all kind of stuff. That's fine. But for me, I would have never put it out there. Because like I said, we would never know all this stuff. We wouldn't even have this discussion today if these people had not put it out there or someone had not exposed them for what they do.
I don't know. The discussion's been out there for a while,
because they put all these people. Well, the people that I put on this list, the people that I put out on the list are people that have put it out there or whatever. I mean, like it may have been talking in little circles, but the general. I mean, everybody in the world. You didn't make world news. Like people didn't even know Shannon. Some people didn't even know.
Well, because I don't pay attention to sports like that.
Right.
The only way I would have known, like when I was in my relationships, or if I'm with my friends, and then because a lot of them watch football and sports, and then it might have came across like he might have came across something
trending topics
or whatever, and I wouldn't even have paid it no attention because I don't pay, or whatever. We might have been sitting here watching football or doing something, and he may have came across the screen. And it would have said Shannon Sharpe, and I was like, oh, Shannon Sharpe. And then after that went off, I wouldn't have paid no attention anymore. It never would have even crossed my mind about any of this or whatever. But as I started going back to see what the issue, what was really going on and stuff like that, these rumors have been going on with him for quite a few years. It's nothing new,
right? Because you brought it out, so it reminds me of what's the movie with Denzel Washington. He's the crime person. He's selling drugs or whatever. And that one day that he goes to the boxing thing and he wears that fur coat or whatever, and it draws attention to him. And I think the saying was, the person like that is the loudest in the room. It was something they said or whatever. You draw attention to your. Had he never had went into that boxing thing or whatever with the fur coat, because he was under the radar. But when you come, who are you to have fur coats and all that? You draw attention to yourself. If you didn't draw the attention, all these people have drawn attention to themselves. Had you not drawn attention to yourself, the world would not know this or whatever. And because you drew attention to yourself, the world is talking about it. And that's why we're talking about it today, because you put it out there like that. You know.
Well, it's hard to, when you're DL, if you trade DL in the closet and stuff, it's hard to keep that. As much as you try to keep that in and present yourself as, quote, normal society or whatever, or trying to maneuver yourself through the world as normal heterosexual society, it's hard because you can't keep that stuff in. Right. And eventually they start doing things, even though they think that it's something that's going to keep protecting their true identity. You know what I'm saying? They may think that or whatever, but they start doing things that actually start giving themselves away, and a lot of DL guys eventually do that.
Yeah, you let their guard down.
Well, I don't know if it's so much they let their guard down, it's their true self is actually fighting to come out. And even though they might not recognize what's actually happening, it's starting to come out, and they're starting to do things where they're going to eventually end up getting caught, or they're going to eventually go see a therapist and try to come out or do something themselves. But because I'm telling you, remember I told you about the DL guy, and I know it was wrong, whatever, but way back when I was messing around with that DL married guy, whatever. Well, for the longest, I never had his phone number. I never gave him my phone number, and he never gave me his. We were communicating through Kick, or whatever. And every time, he would be hitting me up and stuff, and then, he'd say like whatever and stuff, but okay, one day, now this man is married with kids. One day, he comes when he was over here, and he wanted to give me his phone number. Okay. Well, right then you are, you know what I'm saying?
Exposing
you're about to, and I wouldn't take it. I was like, no, I don't want to have anything, and he was like, oh, no, it's cool. And blah, blah, blah. And I took the phone number. I never called it. I never texted. I never called it. I never did anything, or whatever. I just did it because he kept saying, take my number or whatever. And I guess he thought I would call him on it. And then he'd come over here anytime he wanted, or something, and stuff, like that. But he didn't really, I don't even know if he realized what he was actually doing there. Because I could have been one of those persons who, would have exposed him. You know what I'm saying? I could have been one of those ones that took the number and then went and looked up all type of stuff on him or did, which I didn't, but I could have did all of that, or one of those Hollywoods or whatever, who I guess he exposed whoever, he was slipping, and he really wanted to, now he would, he don't want to come out and say, he wouldn't say that he was gay or anything and stuff, like that, but his authentic self was starting to push through that exterior that he had built up, whatever. Right. And to do something like that, that's risky.
He wanted a better way to be in contact with you, because it's like I've been in situations like this, like we're missing each other or whatever, and so they kind of like open the door a little bit. Well, I'm gonna give you my number and stuff like that or whatever, and it's like, oh my God. Really, but I thought you were trying to protect, this, image that you had or whatever. But they try so hard, but it to me it's emotional. It takes a toll on you when you're trying to closet yourself or conceal your sexuality. It takes a toll on you. And eventually it's going, you're going to break down or either, you're going to have to make a decision of how to balance what I'm doing over here and what I'm doing over here, So yeah. All right. Was it Jay and Joe? They said they have to go. Thank you guys for coming out.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.
And listening and joining the conversation.
Y'all go check out Jay and Joe. You know, we were watching them say.
Yeah.
I love watching them. The kids too. The kids, they be on the go.
So Deshaun done brought a lot of information. I follow King Giles, but I haven't really watched him in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's a social
But
media.
Deshaun, he follows a lot of people because I be in different YouTubers. You know, I'll be watching different stuff, and I'll see Deshaun be in there commenting too, and throwing that money around. So, and he puts he says a lot of good stuff. You know, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, so I might have to go and look at his show, Deshaun, if he's saying all this, just to hear what he's saying. But yeah, I follow him, but I haven't watched him in a minute. But yeah, Kim Porter's, I think her book, right, is coming out, and I'm sure a lot of stuff is gonna. No, somebody's coming out with a book. Is it Kim or is it Cassie? One of them is coming out with a book.
I think it's Cassie.
Cassie, okay.
No, Kim Porter's book. That man, the guy who he's writing a book.
Okay.
No, he wrote. Kim left some memoirs or some. She had told different friends what had been happening to her, and then that none of them came forward, but they were protecting her. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Kim Porter. Okay, yeah.
And then they were protecting her, but then she ended up dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, but this guy, the guy who has her memoirs and the stuff that he had told her, and she actually had sent it to him. Supposedly, he has all of that. He has turned it over to the authorities and stuff, like that. So he may be coming forward with that book or whatever. But then his life could be in danger too. You know what I'm saying? If sometimes these people out here, they're more crazier than what we think. Especially out here racketeering, sex trafficking, abuse and stuff. Like that. It's like Deshaun said, they're crazy out here. And then speaking of DL, there was a man that killed his wife somewhere down south. The wife knew about it. She wanted to leave. He killed her and killed himself, and he's gonna be a whole lot more woman. Oh yeah, when he goes to jail, they gonna get hold of him. Yeah, and then
right now he's on suicide watch. Right. I'm thinking, like, for me, I feel for him because I think either he, may. What is it? Unalive. He may unalive himself, but someone may unalive him because you got a lot on you, sir. And then even the inmates there, they may do it just for the just for the popularity of it, like I killed Diddy, whatever. They're gonna get points or whatever in jail or whatever, just for taking him out or whatever. So yeah,
that's being closeted can lead to a lot of harm, not only to yourself, but you cause a lot of harm in relationships, with your family, with friends and stuff, because you go to great lengths. A lot of times you go to great lengths to cover up, the shame and insecurity of you being gay or bisexual or any other type of sexuality that that society deems as not normal. And people go to a lot of great lengths to cover that up, and then eventually that inside of you has to come out somewhere. And a lot of times it comes out in a negative way, until you can get to the point where you can I think people who come out early in life or don't have to worry about coming out, whatever. I think the ones who come out earlier in life can deal with this stuff better, where they may not get into all of the addictions and the, and all of that type of stuff. Sometimes it's the ones who don't come out at all, or who come out so late and they done, trying to conceal their gayness or bisexuality or whatever, has caused so much internal harm, that they project that out into the real world, and then they go out doing stuff where they actually can be harmful to their wives or their kids, anger issues and stuff, like that, physical abuse and stuff, because they're so hurt within them, inside themselves, and they reflect that hurt, deflect that hurt out onto society. You know what I mean? And then it comes out in a lot of different ways, through sex addiction, like a lot of people who've been on the DL, I don't know if it's so much that way now, but, when I was younger, they were the ones who were hiding, a lot of the ones who were hiding or on what they call the DL or closeted, because DL really is a black people's term, black men and women's term, but closeted and stuff. They had a lot of behaviors that led them to do stuff, like cruising the parks and the bookstores, and stuff, like that, looking for anonymous sex and stuff. They go back home, some of them, and then they can end up giving their partners diseases and stuff, like that. And it's just not men, women do it too. But they can go back, and some of them won't take care of themselves because they don't want to go to the doctor and stuff. Because if they're on the DL and stuff, they don't want to, and they get sick or something, they don't want to go to them because they don't want the doctor telling them you have HIV or you have some other sexually transmitted disease that you can get from a man, or
right.
whatever. So they cover up in a whole bunch of different ways, and that can harm us too. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're out here messing with these DL guys, and there's lots of gay guys who have been beat up, and trans who have been beat up by these DL guys. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want anybody to know that they're DL. And it's a lot of them out there like that.
Yeah, I think it's harmful too it's harmful to us as well, because you give off the impression that it's okay to be gay or bisexual as long as you hide it, and then people, then we are not visible and we're not represented anymore because we're all hiding or whatever. And then if you come out and you want to stay DL, it almost kind of limits when we're trying to get rights and we're trying to get equality. No one is out there, fighting for us because everybody wants to be on the DL. So it makes us difficult. It makes it kind of difficult to have progress and kind of challenge the homophobia because you want to stay in the closet or whatever. So it's like it kind of erases or undermines us and our representation because you don't want to be part of the number. You want to stay hidden and whatever. So therefore there's little progress going on in the LGBTQ plus movement or whatever. And like you say, it brings it to me. That's too much mental. I mean, your mental health when you're trying to keep all that inside and suppress, your true self or whatever. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So, you have anything else you want to say on this issue with gay baiting or? I know we talked a lot about Diddy and some about Shay Shay too. I think it all goes back to the shame factor of being in the closet. I wouldn't tell anybody when to come out because it can be harmful for people to come out the closet too. It can be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? They can be harmed. So some people, it's a fear, it's a fear of being harmed and not so much that people, of coming out, but, depends on the type of family or friend, whatever you're around, people they've been beaten and stuff, like that. Even if they were just thought to be gay or queer or something, like that. So sometimes there's different reasons why people don't come out, whatever. But I do think the majority of it is the the insecurity and the shame factor of how they perceive gay is from how society has perceived as being queer. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I just feel like of course, be your true self. Like you say, if it's safe for you to be, if your life is in danger, you may have to, like there's some countries that, it's not even legal or whatever. You could be jailed or lose your life or whatever. So, do what's best for you. But at the same time, I think you be at peace, get to a place where you can be at peace with it. Society may never accept, the way you are and who you are. They may never accept. And I think that's one of the reasons why there's such a big issue with all these people, the Shannon Sharpe, the Chopper, Brashear, August, Diddy, is I don't think any of them have come to a point where they're comfortable, whatever the situation is, right. Whether it's just the teasing, whether it's the, who I hang around with, and people are, lumping me into that same group or whatever, or, whatever it is, if it's religious, if it's, fear, rejection, whatever, some kind of way, I hope that you find that peace within yourself where you're comfortable with you. Everybody doesn't need to know your business, but when you put it out there, like all these people have for the most part, or you've been exposed, it's gonna be a topic of discussion. And to me, my thing is that may be your chance right there to just, come out and just take whatever society is gonna say, but not hold that to a high regard, because you're the only person that needs to be, happy with that decision of you coming out and being your true, authentic self. So I just hope and I wish and, pray that everyone would just get to a place where they're comfortable with who they are on the inside. And if it does get exposed, hopefully you're at a point in your life where you can be true and say, hey, this is what it is. And this, this is how it's going to be. You either accept it or you don't. Hopefully you don't have to come to a point where you have to trick us with live videos, or you have to queer bait us because you want the perks, but you don't want, what else comes with that. Like the Brashears and stuff like, or the Choppers or whatever, that you actually can just, be yourself. And hopefully it doesn't, fall into something dangerous or something harmful. And, forget what people have to say, be you. But like you say, we don't want to push anyone to come out before their time. Hopefully you all just come out whenever you need to come out. And you have our support. There are support groups for you out there that, if this is like, a real issue, because I just hate for the mental, just all the mental stuff that could go on with you trying to live this double life or this life that really is you, but you're just afraid. So you guys, you have our support. If you need to reach out to us, we have you can hit us up. Maybe we could, help you in ways that we come out. Check our video on, I think it was last week. We talked about how, we came out or whatever, or the week before, I don't know, or whatever. So, yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. I'm putting up some of Deshaun's questions here. I'm reading them there.
Oh, yeah, he said he was watching King Jives or whatever.
And then who is that?
You have to, he's a content creator. He has a show. I think his King Jives to me is more, he's kind of like Larry Reed. He's more on the church, whatever, but he will talk about trending topics as well. Because I want to say King Jives comes out of the Kojic church. So he kind of does stuff, that pertains to them and all the conspiracy and all that kind of stuff going over there. But he will touch on issues like this as well.
And so Deshaun says, I think it will be best if men that's in the closet be dating men that's in the closet, because they both have an understanding. To an extent they do. First they might, they're in the closet and then they kind of agree on the same stuff. But usually what happens is one of them, as the relationship progresses or whatever and stuff, one of them really starts wanting to come out the closet. And if that one does come out the closet, then it's going to cause conflict with the other one. You know, even though the other one would like to be out too, but they can get a little envious and jealous of the one who does come out or is coming out, you know, because they're starting to accept themselves more, and they may be getting more gay friends, you know, or hanging out with more at gay organizations, or, you know, they might start being more comfortable with themselves and doing stuff that people perceive as gay, you know, or the gay lifestyle, which is there's no such thing as a gay lifestyle, but they might start doing that. And then that's where the friction is going to come in that relationship or whatever. But then also too, with both of them being in the closet, they can have some really weird views about being in the closet. You know what I'm saying? And then they can be rough on each other. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, you know, don't dress like that, or don't, you know, make sure, you know, whatever. Or then, you know, just say they're living together, and then they're putting themselves off as roommates or something, and then one of their friends or family come over, and they have to play that role and then say, this is my friend or something, and then the one might start getting tired of that, you know, and may want a real
so then you're no longer DL. But I get what you're saying. If we're both on the same page, let's hook up there.
They can still be DL, but one could be coming out, and he might, he might be not be 100% in the closet. He might be doing, you know, slipping around doing little things. You know what I'm saying? But he's still kind of DL, you know, or whatever. But he might be out, starting to get more comfortable with himself, and maybe getting some gay friends and stuff, even though he may not be bringing them around.
So as long as it works, it's cool then.
Yeah, I guess if it works, but you know, usually those don't last for that long. You know, sometimes with women they do. I hear some women have been in these relationships for 30, 40 years, and then one of them dies, you know, and then you find out that they were actually lesbians together, you know, or whatever, or they were married and then they just kept, you know, women can keep it. They seem like they can keep it more on the down low, or more secret than what the men do.
See, I know the ones that have worked, because and from the upbringing I come from, the church, because I think these people have, in lack of a better word, they have something to lose. So if we both have something to lose, it will make it work, because I don't want my stuff out and you don't want your stuff out. So you know, I think when you don't have anything to lose, it could be like, okay, I want more, you know. But I think when you go in it and you both are like equal, as far as, you know, I could lose this, I could lose that, blah blah blah. I think it works, because I know people in the church that they're definitely DL. They've been DL all this time, because neither one of them want to be exposed, because it will crush their whole world. So we're gonna keep this going as long as it can. Nobody needs to know this, you know. So yeah, I can see what you're saying. If you're DL, just hang around. I mean, you know, just deal with other DL men.
Deshaun says women are going to get killed again. Men are going to get killed again, thanks to straight society, until they figure out what the hell needs to happen. How do we get to the point? How do we make things better? I think just it's really more like the more people that can get comfortable with themselves and come out, and people see that some of these hardcore, what people see as hardcore masculine men, some of these football players, basketball players, athletes and stuff, you know, like that, where people see them as super masculine or whatever and stuff, you know, like that. When they start coming out, you know, which I don't know if that'll happen, not probably in my time, but, you know, maybe one or two here and there. But the more of them, because it's a lot of them who are actually, you know, it's a lot of them, you know, rap stars, you know, rap people, you know, these guys, these so-called thugs and trade, and, you know, all these down low rappers and stuff, you know, like that. It's a lot of them out there, people, and sometimes women don't even want to believe that, because they just see the outer exterior, you know, or whatever, and so they go by that. When he can't be gay or bisexual or whatever, because look at him, he's a man and he's this and so and so. Or they hear these guys talking about it, like whatever that guy was talking about, Shannon Sharpe, talking about the fruity booties and stuff. Did you see that when he was talking about, Shannon Sharpe? He was actually saying that Shannon Sharpe is he likes fruity booty, he ain't or whatever. I forgot his name.
Oh, was that cat with
Holcomb, Corey Holcomb. I think that's his name, Corey Holcomb, and he was talking about Shannon Sharpe, or whatever. And people see Shannon Sharpe with these muscles. He played football and stuff, so people can be delusional sometimes because they see that and they'll be thinking, oh no, he couldn't be gay, because they're looking at what they see as the betas, and they looking at him as the alpha, and all they got to do is say, I'm having sex with all these type of women, or put out a video where you hear him, where a woman in the background moaning and stuff, like that. There's a lot of people who came out in his defense saying, well, no, he's not gay because he was having sex with a woman. That doesn't make you not gay. It doesn't make you not bisexual. You can have sex with women 5 days a week, 7 days a week, and still you can be gay or bisexual or fall somewhere in the queer realm, or whatever. So, but I think the more people that do get comfortable with themselves and then they do come out, some of these high profile people, if they can come out or whatever and stuff and show that we are out there in all type of, we come in all types of shapes, sizes,
right,
attitudes, personalities,
just like
maps, everything. We're
no different than them.
More, and it is happening. More and more people are coming out at an early age, but there's still the stigmatism to this. You know what I'm saying? When you mention gay, all of a sudden it's all over the internet, and the views of the views and stuff that these content creators are getting just because they said Shannon Sharpe is bisexual or gay or whatever, or P. Diddy, so and so. The views and all the stuff that they're getting is sensationalized.
It's still raising the eyebrow.
And then, but they're all talking about the gay aspect of it, not that P. Diddy, there's some of them are saying he's a sex addict or whatever, or a narcissist or whatever, but most of them, it's all centered around the gay bisexual aspect, which lets you know that and then the comments, if you read the comments and stuff, like that, which lets you know that there's still a big stigma in being queer, and as much as we take a foot, 1 or 2 foot forward, we still end up having, we end up taking a step backwards. You know what I mean? Because society still sees us. They still see us as something. There's something wrong with it. So we put up some of Sean's. Hey, Alvin Watkins. I was listening to him earlier today too. He was on early this month. Because remember, you got an anti-candidate named Mark Robinson that passed the sodomy law that don't want drag in Texas. Yep, definitely. Yes. And then and I think the sodomy laws are still on the books in some states, even though it's illegal. I mean, even though it's legal and sodomy just does not refer to gay men having, anal sex. Sodomy, that could refer to women too. But the thing is, straight people were so concerned about gay people that they do gay pranks, right? We talked about that in a few weeks ago, where we were laughing at it. Why is everything so gay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do, and that's part of the gay baiting also. They try to feminize things to play gay characters. So I don't get what the problem is. Yeah, that's that gay baiting that we were talking about. So yeah, that is that gay baiting. And then you have anything else, Charles?
I gave my statements.
Okay, queer baiting. And then I'll put Deshaun's last of his questions up here. or comments, and then we'll get out of here. And then John says I'll be watching their content.
The kids. I think you said watch their content.
Oh yeah, Jay and Joe, Life with Jay and Joe. Then the Kents. Them Kents are on the go. I was watching them. They were at the Nicki Minaj concert, even though it was a little while ago, but they put the video up. But I'll be watching them. They be out there everywhere and just got food everywhere. I'll be sitting there hungry.
Huh.
Yeah. I see what you're getting at. I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, everybody. We are going to get out of here. We will. I'll let Charles talk about the distinguished gentleman of KKMS one last time as we get out of here. The upcoming events this weekend, starting Thursday through Sunday. And if you're in the vicinity, the DFW, Dallas, and Fort Worth Metroplex area, and want to get out and mingle with the distinguished gentlemen of KKMS, which is everybody, a lot of these good-looking men that's out here, and some women be in there too. Be hanging out with everybody too. Come on out. If you're coming into the state or into the city from another state or country, come out and join me. We will put this up, and I'll let Charles talk about it.
Why don't you stay here after hours? I know you don't want to leave. Stay here after hours. After hours we can't. Gotta check the time. Even when it ends, it's still you and I. We ain't even know they turn on the lights. We miss the last call riding on a high. It's more than a moment. This can't be a minute.
So yeah, that's our friends at the Distinguished Gentlemen of KKMS. Starting this weekend, Friday, September 27th through September 29th, they will be having events nightly at different venues. So I would ask you all to, if you're planning on coming and being a part of it, to go to their website at www.kkmsdallas.com. I think everything is under the tab Heat 2024. You'll see all of the Dallas Urban Pride events there. And like I said, they have something going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's also an after hours night. I'm not sure what night that is, but it's probably on the website as well. And you can also get rooms if you're coming from out of town. They have a host hotel that's probably centered, I'm pretty sure centered in the Metroplex where you're not too far from each event. It's the Crown Plaza at Dallas Love Field, which is a central area for Dallas. So that's a good area to be in, kind of like in our entertainment district as well. And then they're gonna have bottle specials. There's also weekend passes where you can get entry for all the events for, I think one is like $80, I think, and the other one is like $100 or whatever. So look at those different packages. And I would say as soon as you can, as far as the passes, go ahead and get those, because I know they're probably going to go fast. And also, if you're looking to get a room, they do have a QR code where you can reserve your room. So go to their website and get that QR code, and it'll take you to that Crown Plaza Hotel, Dallas Love Field, and you can go ahead and book your room. Look, they're gonna have it lit every night. I mean, they have a theme for every night. One night is news and neutral. So that's gonna be cute just to see how everybody kind of puts that together. I think the couple of years before they've done pastels, but they switched it up this year and they're gonna do nudes and neutral. So that's gonna be really cute to see how everyone, does that or whatever. But yeah, just go to that website and get all the information there. We would love to see you guys. Hopefully we'll be able to make it, if not every night, one of the nights or whatever, and get to see you guys. Like I said, tell them Charles and Alvin sent you from tit for tat, this and that. And let's just, hey, let's party, y'all.
So Deshaun said, are there going to be guests coming over to Urban Pride? I don't know, Deshaun, but we can ask. We'll ask Carrick. We can text Carrick and ask him what kind of guests are going to be there, if any, and then.
And you have their social media too.
Right.
So when you go to their website, you can click there. They have a Facebook page, a Twitter, Instagram, and a YouTube. And most of the times they have like their meetings where they're announcing all the events. So if there are special guests, I'm pretty sure they have said it in their video. So yeah, check them out on Instagram because that's usually where they'll put their videos.
Yeah, they do. They do have it. They do have like the DJs and stuff, and then on their flyers, they do have some stuff listed on there, who the guests, like who the guests will be and who the DJs are. And then and I'll still ask Carrick, because he may have some updated news or something, and then I'll shoot you a thing through IG and let you know, Deshaun, if there are going to be some. All right. Yeah, everybody, y'all have a nice evening. Thanks for joining us today. And like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll get back to your comments here soon. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank
And
you.
y'all who are coming out to Urban Pride, maybe we'll see you out there one or 2 days. I don't know if I'll be out there every night, but I might go out one.
Yeah, come and say hi. Have a good evening. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye, Dallas. Bye, world.